Anna, welcome to today's session on creative dimension of education. We will be understanding the creative dimension of education. So, creativity, in our introduction, creativity refers to the ability of an individual to develop, imagine, conceptualize something new, or add new value to something which was already existent. So, when you have that capability of imagining something and then bringing it into life so that we can see it, then that is covered in creativity. So human beings are unique and they are more than a material object at the mercy of physical chemical forces and more than a sensitive animal controlled by biological laws. So human beings have that capacity to think, have that capacity to reason, and once you conceptualize something through your thoughts, then you are a transient being who is able to actually make that which has been conceptualized in the mind to come into reality. So that is the power of creativity. So it goes ahead to tell us that he or she transcends the view that one is a mere product of society or an outcome of political economic forces. The human person is endowed with the ability to be actively involved in the world and be able to control in a limited way his or her own destiny in life. So we have four elements that make up a human person. Number one, the ability to think or reason. Number two, the ability to act. Number three, the ability to relate with others or socialize. And we also have the human will. This one is voluntary decision making. So we have the humanizing tasks of education, and as you go through the education process, that is the learner, the child or the learner is considered to be a potential human being, and education serves that purpose of humanizing, which is bringing the child into an actual human being who now is able to have values, is able to have knowledge, is able to relate well with others, to have skills like communication, critical thinking, is able to be now a full human being who is functional and who contributes towards the society development. So it aims at influencing the child to come of age or to reach adulthood. The task of this humanizing is in two ways. Number one, we have individualization of man, that is teaching rationality and thinking critically. And we have teaching desirable skills. And then also we have values, teaching values, morals, and ethics. We have function two, which is socialization of man, and humanization should involve socialization where man should be able to mutually interact with others and coexist with them. By inference, we find the four dimensions of education, which is the cognitive, the normative, the creative, and the dialogical dimension. And what we are looking at today is the creative dimension. So we have key aspects that we have to consider as trainers when we want to operationalize creativity within education. So we have to, number one, focus or center the education on the child. So child-centered approach, this one is critical so that we can align the objectives of the education to meet the needs, individual needs of the child or the learner. And then we have enhancing a warm and encouraging learning environment, which is free from intimidation and correction. And when we have a warm, encouraging learning environment, the learner is able to express themselves and they're able to have that freedom and that comfortability to be able to express their creativity. Also, dialogue should be the routine in educational communication and not just a lecture kind of uh, instructional method. Also, teachers should fully grasp the essence of the process of knowledge, production, and dissemination or transmission to the learners. Also, knowledge tends to be produced or manufactured outside the classroom. It is not only contained in textbooks. So, in our next lesson, we are going to look at the other part where we look at the other uh, uh, ways we operationalize creativity, and thereafter we shall go to look at the characteristics of creative dimension, and we shall look at the importances of the creative dimension, and finally we shall have enhancement of creative dimension and the hindrances to creativity, or the hindrances to the creative dimension. So do have a good day, and uh, enjoy your weekend.